You're listening to Only in Seattle.
So Dan, tell me, you were a mortgage guy through and through. You were doing a lot of business, things were really rolling, and then you kind of worked your way out of that and then took some money and invested in these bars. What did that transition look like for you?
I mean, I feel like part of the transition was just the realizing I was not really excited about the opportunities that were going to be there once we were done with the mortgage company, because we'd kind of just been calling our own shots for, I don't know what, like almost 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah, when we were running the deal.
Yeah.
And in transition from that, really the opportunities were to be working within a regional position for some other national companies and things like that, which just, the appeal to that was just not there when really, I mean, you know how it is with the, whether it's your real estate or the appraisal stuff, it's like, would you go to work for, I don't even remember the name of the appraisal conglomerates anymore from mortgage, but like, would you be jacked about going to be a
Not really.
county manager for one of them? No.
So the ownership of your business changed.
Yeah.
And that meant you would be in an environment that you would be an employee versus owner.
Right.
And that didn't appeal to you. So then you decided, I'm going to make a change.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of came about just weirdly, because I was just sitting down at my desk one day, and one of my, a real estate agent that I worked with when I was in the mortgage biz just called me up out of the blue. He's just like, hey, what are you doing? And at that point, I was really not doing a whole lot of anything except meeting with attorneys about the things that went on after the acquisition of our company. And I'm like, I'm pretty much not doing anything.
And that was a mess.
That was a complete mess. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say about that. That did not go as planned.
Yeah, that was a train wreck.
I think the best way to say it, I don't know if I'm actually legally okay to talk about it too much, except to say it did not go as planned. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
And this is just a former mortgage company that you worked for. We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a few hundred people out there who know.
Oh yeah, tons. And it was
all of our lives got impacted.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you were my appraisal pod. What did we even call it? I had an appraisal board. You were the manager of all of my. Weren't you like the guy who was the head guy? Brought all my problems to. I feel like so.
Pretty much. I was your troubleshooter.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And if an appraisal came to you that was completely sideways, I was kind of like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction. I was the guy who came in and smoothed it out.
Right. Well, and then you also told me what it would be worth when we had to buy the loan back and put it on the market and sell the disaster.
Reality.
Yeah, good times.
Instead of other appraisers who shall go unnamed, who gave you appraisals that made your deals work.
Until it got reviewed.
It got reviewed, or the property went sideways and you had to take it back.
I didn't realize how much I enjoy not being in the mortgage business till we had this part of the conversation.
It's stressful.
Yeah. No, it really, it's just... enjoyed it like crazy when I was in it. But the growth of our company and the requirements of the government coming down to the point where we were going to need to hire an entire team of lawyers just to kind of continue to do the compliance that needed to be done.
Right.
Just kind of
because you guys have been kind of winging it at this mortgage company we're talking about. You guys have been kind of winging it.
I mean, winging it's probably the way I'd say it now. But yeah, we were tap dancing quite a bit and just doing the best we could. To maintain the things we were doing, and the intent was to be able to find somebody who was bigger, better, had already done it, and could help us through that transition. And now I'm a bar owner.
Yep.
So
so you bought the Savage Moose in Kenmore.
Mm-hmm.
What year was that?
It's going to be 5 years ago in March. So let's say 2015. So
and that bar was up and operating already.
Yeah, and basically it was brought to me by a guy, basically a real estate agent, who just was like, hey, what do you like to do? You know, I think I have an idea you need to take a look at. Went in, grabbed some food at the bar. He asked me what I thought of it. Like, he just wanted to meet me there at the bar. And I'm like, well, you know, he starts to talk about, well, you know, it's for sale. Here's the, you know, telling me all the details about it. And I was like, well, first of all, I wouldn't really want to eat any other food that was here because I can actually see in the kitchen right now. And I'm looking around the bar and I'm wondering how he keeps the lights on because there's just nobody in here. And I'm like, to be honest, it looks like a total disaster. Like, why would I be interested in this? And he's like, well, you like building things. Like, do you want to just manage something that's already working? I'm like, no, that's not really my thing. I like to take things that are kind of a disaster and figure out ways to make it work. It's what I'm passionate about, I guess. And
so this was a fixer bar.
Yeah, I mean, it was
in real estate terms.
Yeah, it was just a guy who had figured out how much he wanted the bar to make him every month. It was doing that, and he didn't really care if it did anything else. He was just ready to leave it behind. He was going to move to Arizona, and I kind of just stepped in and picked it up, and it was a blast. I had a great time changing up what was going on in the bar and just building it. But it's a study of transitioning from mortgage for me personally to bar owner, because like for the first year and a half that I was in the bar business, people would ask me what I did for work. And I'd just kind of be like, well, I'm a bar owner, and I needed them to know that I wasn't like just a dude who woke up at 2 p.m. every day, had a huge hangover because all I did is partied at my bar. Like, to me, I have this vision in my head, and maybe it's brought up on by my upbringing, where I'm like, if you're in the bar industry, here's what you are, here's what you're about, and here's how your life looks. And I really actually had to work through that quite a bit, where I'm just like, I actually was like, am I going to tell people I'm an entrepreneur? Am I going to tell people I'm a bar owner? Am I going to tell people I'm a restaurant owner? Like, and then finally I got to the point, like much like the things you learn through the life events you and I have both had, whether it's business or personal, it's like, hey, the people who care to get to know you are going to take the time to get to know you and figure out who you are. The people that don't, why are you wasting your time worrying about what they think?
They're going to categorize you however.
Yeah, so just tell them what you are and let them do it.
And let it rip. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.